Our primary objective is to complete a national goal, to perform a crewed lunar landing and return to Earth alive. I am challenging the nation to land astronauts on the moon by the end of the decade. The mission has become the height of the space race, a kind of subplot to the Cold War in between the United States and the Soviet Union.
We are
My
recording
name is
you.
Paul Utrata. It was kind of mixed emotions. It was really exciting, but it was also tempered a little bit because we still had 4 or 5 days before we were going to be at the moon, or actually land on the moon. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a couple of uncles that worked for NASA down at Cape Canaveral. One was in engineering and management, and one was a mechanic on the line that actually helped build some of the devices and assemble them. And having them visit us every couple of years, or us visit them periodically, there was just a sense of confidence that I've never seen before. In a minute, yes, I would.
It's like,
Wait a minute. At that time, absolutely. Right now, I don't know that I would. You're just a long way from home, and now you have a long trip home. I bet the view is nice, though.
I bet you can see your house from there.
You know, I've heard that they have only one restaurant up there, but people don't like it because there's no atmosphere. Is that funny? I would say with the same sense of pride and a little bit of concern for the 3 astronauts that were going up. What the reaction was of the people all around us was, we're glad this time had finally come, because every space shot before then was moving toward this, everyone in the Apollo program. So it was excitement, I think, more than anything. With a small e, though. Would we be able to get them back off the moon? We've already proven that we could bring them back from space to the U.S., or to Earth, rather. But we hadn't yet landed on something, spent some time there, and then blasted off from there for the return trip. So we had been waiting for 7 years for it to happen. That's when our president decided and publicly stated that we were going to go to the moon with a man and return him safely to Earth within that decade. So there was always a little bit of concern for the astronauts. Wow. I would predict it felt like walking through very, very light sand. And the reason I say that is when the first human foot hit the moon, it went down about 2 inches or 3 inches into essentially space dust. Although with no atmosphere, it didn't puff up and rail around the way you think it might. It just kind of compressed and moved a bit. So I think it would be kind of cushioned. Why was it so important? Well, internationally, it really put the United States up in the forefront of essentially all things scientific. Looking back on it, a lot of what they did had application into current products, PCs, digital watches, specialized calculators. All of that came from the space industry, and a lot of the research that they did, and whether they used it or not in going to the moon, the research was used to move us ahead in a lot of different technological areas. So I think that's one really important aspect. Not only after the moon landing, but before too. Yes, absolutely. When John Glenn, who was an Ohio native, went up in the Friendship 7 during the Mercury program, and he orbited the Earth 3 times. That was 1960, 61. Absolutely. It was almost every kid's dream.
Including the girls,
Yes.
even though women weren't considered then at all to become astronauts.
Why is that funny?
It wasn't funny if you were a girl then.
Your face was funny, Papa.
Wow. There were lots of celebrations, but one of the biggest was a ticker tape parade in New York City. And by ticker tape, that's the chips that used to come out of punch tape. They would get bins and bins full of it and throw it out windows as they were paraded down the main street. So it was, a big littering campaign that was going on to celebrate them. Kind of like now where they drop all of the rhythms or the ribbons and glitter during or after a championship game of some sort. I wouldn't say the landing itself was, but all of the research that was done to get to that point, absolutely. It's almost the basis for most of the technology we're using now. Wow, I think that decision is made even before they launch from here.
But if you were on there like with me, would you make me go first or would you go first?
Oh no, I'd elbow you out of the way so I could go first. Really? It seems like it would be an exciting thing, and no one else can say that. Neil Armstrong is known worldwide as the first human to set foot on the moon. So yes, I would want to go first. Thank you. So how much am I getting paid for this?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.